Goldenrod. You don't see Trish, Nanyuk123. You don't fucking see Enrique do it. You don't see any of those motherfuckers do it. None of them do it. But Krez is doing it. Why? Because they tried to make it sound like he would get something out of it. Like he would have more fun things to do. When in reality, they had no outlet. They have no place to fucking advertise their shit. So they convince him, oh, we're friends. So, you mind if, yeah, you want to join our podcast? Yeah, you could be our guest. There's no such fucking thing as a guest on a show that no one wants to fucking watch. And it's his audience that was watching their show. That's how they branched off. Otherwise, nobody would fucking listen to any of that bullshit. It's all a bunch of horse shit, dude. Nobody fucking cares. But they want to sit around and fucking pull that shit on him? Fuck them.
Yeah.
By the way, we should probably do a podcast right now.
Oh, I just started recording about 30 seconds ago.
Okay. But yeah, I'm giving you the example that it's like they're taking advantage of him and his audience, and they're rolling with it. And he hasn't done anything wrong to them.
Yeah.
And now that he speaks up about it, he's probably going to get a bunch of shit from them.
Yeah. It's like, vicious fucking cycle. He tries to play nice, and he gets taken advantage, and then he speaks against it finally, and then he gets bashed, and then he feels bad again.
Well, it's the weird thing is that he's doing something on his own.
Yeah.
He doesn't need anyone else to help him with anything. He's just being himself. He's having fun. They're the ones using him, realizing that, oh shit, this guy has an audience, but it's not a big audience, so maybe if we pretend we're his friends, that he'll put our stupid audio on his fucking drawing, stream. That's really what it is. There's no fucking way around it. Yeah. Nobody listens to their bullshit. He has no fucking audience whatsoever. But he happens to fucking sit there and claim that he knows all this shit about recording and whatever. If he knows all that shit and he has all these advertisements in his stupid little fucking podcast thing, then why the fuck can't he just do it on his own? Yeah. Why does he have to mess with other people and try to get their audiences to listen?
It's like, like people that are being interviewed by lesser known peoples.
Yeah.
Like, remember I showed you, oh, this guy, the British guy's being interviewed by this guy.
Yeah.
And he has no audience. In fact, all he has done is being interviewing famous furry peoples.
Yeah. Well, another good example would be Joe Rogan's podcast. His podcast started off small.
Mm-hmm.
He maybe had like a couple hundred people when he first started, and now he has a fuck ton of people. Mm-hmm. And he just did it because he got better at it, and he even admitted it like a year later. He's like, the first year I recorded sounds like shit. But that's just because I was getting into it, and I just wanted to have fun at home. He wanted to just start something up for fun. He didn't think that it would be this, this huge.
Yeah.
But he did it on his own. You didn't hear about him crying to one of his friends or like a UFC fighter and say, "Oh, please, you have this going on. Why don't you help me out?" He didn't ask for shit. He just did everything on his own, and everything just happened to attract its own audience.
Yeah. You know that John Steele guy?
Yeah.
So far, he's been interviewing people that the people that we kind of know, the Reedy's circle of dudes that he talks to. But otherwise, he only had 76 people.
That's beside the point. He's doing something he enjoys doing, and he's not trying to fucking bleed off of somebody else to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand if you do something and you start, if you're really good at it, Let's say you start doing something for a little bit, and a couple people say, "Oh, this is kind of cool. Let me share it with my friends." And then they like it, and then they start watching. That's kind of cool,
Yeah.
But he's not sitting there crying for attention. He's like, "Oh, come on, give me a shout out, give me this, give me that." Fuck no, he didn't ask for shit. No, I mean, just it does bug me though. Like every now and then, we'll hang out with people that we know that we've talked to before, that we've interacted with.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't like it when people get exploited. So I did mention that shit to him. I just don't want him to turn around and make it sound like I'm trying to fuck with him or something. That's why I sent him a message too, because I told him that I don't even trust the websites I go in. Like my email, I don't use the same passwords for that. I don't use the same passwords for my PayPal. They're all different.
Oh yeah.
I have fake passwords half the time. Yeah. Even my fucking what is the fucking Netflix? That's his fake password. We did watch a really shitty movie though.
Oh, Homicide?
Yeah.
God, that fucking sucks. You know what? The two things that pissed me off this week. No bullshit.
Yeah. I didn't even want to watch anything after that.
Shaq Fu pissed me fucking off playing it. Homicide. It had good. It actually had some good things now thinking about it, but it's just fucking sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty crap.
Like, okay, I looked up reviews of it, you know, what the interpretation of it is. Like, oh, it's a guy trying to his Jewish identity and he gets backstabbed, you know?
Even then, we were saying that shit. Like, we were predicting things that were happening in the movie. It wasn't that fun.
Yeah, even the blacks got away with it. Fucking. Saying kike.
Well, that's the difference, though. Like, because society tells you what's good and what's bad. Like, in the 90s, we used to hear, like, all sorts of racial slurs about, you know, Jews and gays and whatever. But nowadays, you can't do that. You're going to get in trouble for a hate crime.
So retarded.
Yeah.
Even that word retarded is...
Oh, yeah, you can't use that word anymore.
Yeah.
No, you can't say that. That's bad.
That's so fucking retarded.
But South Park actually nailed it when they had that episode with the kid Jimmy, and he's against the what is it, the principal, the PC principal, and the principal's like torn between like, holy shit, he's right, he can say it because, you know, he's handicapped. You know, that was the point where they brought it up. He's like, I am retarded, I can say that. But when you dwell into it a little more, the reason why, from a psychological standpoint, it was a lot different because people that were mentally disabled, they fucking don't know any better. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. Yeah. They just know when they're hungry, and they know when they're happy, and they know when they're sad. That's about it.
Yeah, I need to change my diaper.
Yeah, but it's also the same people when you look at them, and they get diagnosed. See, this is the fucked up part is they'll say, oh, that person has the mental capacity of a third grader. Or an 8-year-old or some shit, whatever. They turn around and say that shit all the fucking time. But isn't that kind of putting down kids? Isn't it making kids sound like they're fucking stupid and they don't know any better? But yeah, they're trying to say that you can't say that, even though, technically speaking, it wasn't used as an actual insult. It was actually a scientific term or a medical term. Yeah. You know, it was a diagnosis.
Yeah, it's just that how I'm using it is just, you know, it's words.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was a kid and they had the special class, they called it the special class, but they also called it the retard class. And they were very specific saying that, yeah, we can actually call it that. Like, the teachers used to call it that. I'm not even kidding. Like early on when I'm in, like, you know, first, second, third grade, they were saying how, oh, that's the retarded class. They have to sit in the back of our classroom because they don't have their own room. There's one of my cousins that, remember how I told you I went to my cousin's graduation? Yeah, on her dad's side of the family, there's this one girl, and she has some up with her where it's actual brain damage. So she was diagnosed as retarded, okay? But if you word it a certain way, it's an insult. But if you were to be, like, if somebody were to ask you, oh, what's wrong with her? Oh, she's retarded.
Yeah, see, that's
it.
Yeah, how you said it was
But totally if I were to say you're a fucking retard, that's an insult.
And you said the word fucking. Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. But
yeah, that's a given.
No, but the diagnosis actually was that way up until, like, around the 90s. Like, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, that was a legitimate term. It wasn't anything weird. It was just how it is. And then now they have to change everything up. You can't even insult people that come back from the war. They used to call it shell shock. And now they say that it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Actually, George Carlin was the one that made that. That was one of his stand-up routines, now that I think about it. But he brought that up, and he said that people are too fucking stupid about things nowadays where they have to be sensitive. You have to cater to people's sensitivity, when half the time, most of them don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
But once you start giving a shit, that's when people want more. It's the concept of, remember that book, You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Oh, yeah.
Then he's going to want more and more and more. That's just how it is. So when you start caving into it, they want more. That's why how society is about everything in general. And the fucked up part about that is, a lot of people are shitting on people who aren't doing anything wrong. I mean, from a religious standpoint, they're shitting on Christians.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing that I've noticed. And it's kind of fucked up because back in the day, it wasn't a big deal. When I was a kid, I remember like if one of your friends really wanted you to tell the truth, they'd be like, "You swear to God, dude." And if you're lying, you're going to be like, "Oh shit, well I don't want to go to hell, so I can't say that." Because that's how society was back then. It was kind of like making fun of God was the dumbest thing you could do when you were a kid, because you think you're going to go to hell. You're afraid of that shit.
Actually, now that you said you swear to God, that's a whole thing missing from society entirely.
Yeah, look at the court systems now, man. You know how many people put their hand on the fucking Bible when they get sworn in or something to testify? In court, you have to put your hand on the Bible and you have to swear, I, whatever, do whatever. I don't know, you have to say everything, and you have to tell the truth when you're in court, when you testify or some shit. So, anyways, they have that thing now, but if everyone's atheist, who gives a fuck if they put their hand on anything? That could be a fucking knock-knock joke book.
Yeah, it could be...
It could be a newspaper, it could be a porno. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that's the point is people sit there and they go to court. They're not going to tell the truth. And that's another thing that people were afraid of, that society would become godless, because once you're like that, you just don't give a fuck. And if they found out that you lied, they're never going to trust you again. But nowadays, you can lie all you want. You just have to have somebody say, well, let's make fun of what God is, because God is actually just a word. There is no proof of God's existence. You could prove that Jesus exists because we have historical documents. I mean, fuck, Mel Gibson made The Passion of the Christ. People actually watch that shit in theaters, Historically, you can prove that Jesus existed, and there you go. Yeah. But there's a lot to debate with that, so I don't want to get into detail, but I'm just saying, in general, if you were to say specifically a thing about Jesus being that people said that he existed, you can't debate that kind of stuff.
I know.
You can't say that he didn't exist. That's actually the closest that we have to somebody proving that God exists, if you believe in Jesus,
Okay, the one thing I was going to bring up was Hillary looks like shit.
Dude, she's really old.
She looks really old. Yes, she does.
Well, people don't realize that, most of the time, people that meet up and they get married, and come on, dude, he served 2 terms. Oh. I mean, Bill Clinton.
Oh.
But guess what? Who the fuck was his wife? Yeah, and he hasn't been in office in 16 fucking years? Uh-huh. And you're going to tell me she's not 16 years older, already around the same age as him when he was president?
Yeah.
He wouldn't run for president this year. He'd be too old. People would make fun of him.
Well, to be fair, Ronald Reagan was
a movie star.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wouldn't vote for him?
Yeah, but what I mean is, he was how old when he was president?
Yeah, but he actually took good care of himself even when he got older. He didn't really appear that old either.
That's the one thing about him. He didn't appear that old.
He was actually pretty athletic when he was a kid, and he was in all those Western movies. The guy actually was very physical.
Oh, okay. Hillary she's 69 now.
Yeah, she's old as fuck.
Reagan was 70 when he was running for president.
Dude, his corpse looks better than her right now.
And Trump recently became 70.
Yeah.
So she has not aged at all well.
No, she looks like shit.
She really does look like shit. Even
I'm just gonna say that his toupee looks like it's like 15, and he doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, his toupee looks like he's age 15.
Well, his toupee is 15. That's probably how old it is.
Yeah.
Swiped it off of a dead cat or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant his.
He doesn't. Well, he himself doesn't look that bad, and the way that he's been in his little the fucking rallies that they have, he doesn't look that bad. He actually looks all right, and he's able to convey his points fine.
Yeah, he looks like he
could live another 15 years, no problem.
Yeah, he has, like he said, low energy Jeb or Rubio or Ted Cruz. I think that's cool.
He's good at his speeches, man. It's really weird.
Yeah, he is ready to go, running, punching. He's alive.
Yeah. How old is Bernie Sanders? Because he does look like he's in his 80s. I mean, he looks that way.
Okay.
So does Hillary too. She looks like she's in her 80s. She doesn't look fucking young at all.
Oh, he's 74.
Oh, he's not that bad then.
Yeah, actually, he seems about right. Actually,
Yeah, he looks like he's the right age.
yeah.
But people don't want to vote for people over their 60s.
Yeah, but yeah, Hillary and Trump, they would be of over 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Obama's, how old? How old is he?
I think he's probably 50.
Yeah, because I remember he wasn't that old when he ran. It was him against John McCain.
Let's see, how old is he now? Let's see, he is now 54.
Yeah, he's not that old.
But however, he looks like shit because his all that gray hair on him.
He doesn't look that bad, actually.
I know he doesn't look bad. He sure has aged quite a lot the past 8 years. And to be honest, yeah, you're president of the United States. There's going to be a lot of shits.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. Even George W. He aged quite a lot.
Yeah, he looks like shit now.
He looks like shit now. Even his father, Herbert. Herbert the pervert.
Oh, that guy's been fucked up lately.
Yeah, he's been fucked up lately, but he's old. He's the father of the previous president.
Yeah.
So he's 92.
Yeah.
You know what? He looks 92 to me. So yeah, Hillary looks like shit to me. One thing, Scott Adams, he posted a picture of somebody on Twitter posting it. Is the "I'm with stupid" thing, and it has an arrow.
Yeah.
It was comparing that to the Hillary logo.
Well, it's funny because I got a message from somebody telling me that they're voting for Hillary, and they also brought up the thing, if you're a real man, vote Hillary. So I posted a picture of what is it, Caitlyn Jenner, and that's it. That's my response to his shit.